What's going on, friends? Logan Myerz here for Cinephellas.com, back from a galaxy far, far away. We just saw Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Rian Johnson directed this film. You may be familiar with this work. He directed Brick and one of my favorite movies, Looper, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis. So he's taking the reins in the new film. From the get-go of the film, it's a darker approach to this chapter in the Star Wars franchise. Just with the palettes, the overall tone of this film is a lot different, and hard for people to really understand. Being a huge Star Wars fan or growing up with these films, this is a different film. At the end of The Force Awakens, we were left with that cliffhanger, literally cliffhanger, between Rey and Luke Skywalker. She hands him the lightsaber. The ends of the film, and then we're picking up with The Last Jedi. See what will happen between Luke and Rey, and what Rey is trying to prove, and what she's doing, and what she was born to be. We have the Resistance trying to take down the First Order. We have Leia. Oh man, it was heart-wrenching to see her on the big screen for the final time. Seeing the one and only Carrie Fisher. Again, we have Oscar Isaac returning as Poe. You have Finn, played by John Boyega. Rey, played by Daisy Ridley. And all the characters in The Force Awakens are back in this film, obviously, and really were the best parts of the film. We have General Hux returning with the First Order, played by Domhnall Gleeson. He's kind of arrogant dick. But throughout the film, he gets bitch-slapped a few times, which is really funny. And there's actually one particular scene between him and Poe, and it's really, really funny, like towards the beginning of the film. And that's one thing that kind of threw me off with the Last Jedi. There's a lot of comedy in this. When in the beginning of the film, when there's some jokes thrown in there, it caught me off guard. I didn't really expect that, but there's a lot of funny parts throughout this film. And we have old emo Kylo Ren back, played by Adam Driver. A really great performance in this film. Seeing this character, really torn inside of, good versus bad. And also trying to fight out these inner demons that he's had since he was a child. And as we see throughout the film, we see what has happened and maybe his tie to Luke Skywalker, his uncle. But one aspect of the film is Snoke, played by Andy Serkis. They kind of built him up. They really built him up in the Force Awakens. We see him now, he's calling the orders, telling General Hux and Kylo Ren, and just talking shit to them throughout the film, and basically saying they're useless. Just seeing this big commander-in-chief running the show. And, I really thought Andy Serkis did an excellent job with this character. Snoke may have been one of the weakest parts of the film. As a villain, he didn't really live up to my expectations, I would say. I thought he would be in more of this film. But, Andy Serkis did a good job with what he was given. Best chemistry throughout the film was between Luke and Rey. Luke is like, why are you here? How did you find me? I've been gone, since Return of the Jedi, hiding away from everything in this small island. And he's really questioning her, who she is, what she wants. And he can see something in her that he has not seen. It's something that scares him, as he says in the film. And there's, a lot of good reasons for that. In terms of the action and the effects in this movie, those are, again, top notch. You have these big battle scenes up in space or on the ground or wherever the case may be, in terms of CGI and actual real effects. You're invested, as a fan and a person in the theater. We have John Williams doing the score in this film, which was a lot better than The Force Awakens, I thought. His score really added to the atmosphere they were building with this film. Other action scenes, lots of really good fights. You have Captain Phasma versus Finn. That didn't really turn out the way I thought it would. And I thought Phasma would have a bigger part in this film, but she did not, so kind of disappointed about that. But in terms of Kylo Ren and Rey actually meeting and, trying to understand what they want to do, and, it makes you guess, it makes you think, are they related? Are they brother and sister? But with Kylo and Rey, there's this great fight scene, meeting up with Snoke, and I'm like, damn, that was badass, yeah. Are they going to team up now? And that was really one part of the film I was trying to figure out. I couldn't wrap my head around if Ben Solo, what happened in his past that really set him off, or is maybe in the future films, the final chapter of this trilogy, maybe he will be a good guy. And that's something we'll have to wait to find out. And I'd have to give it up to Mark Hamill. This is his best performance as Luke Skywalker, being older, wiser, been around the galaxy a few times, and how his life has been affected and how he's changed as a man and growing up and not giving into his surroundings. And I have to talk about the scene with Skywalker and an old character we all know from the first trilogy. I'm not going to say who it is, but there's a really great scene between Luke Skywalker and this character. Overall, The Last Jedi is a movie I'm really going to have to watch again. It was probably one of the hardest Star Wars movies to digest because they went at this movie in a different approach. That's why I love Rian Johnson. He does and tries different things, especially, with Star Wars that has such a huge fan base. People are either going to like it or dislike it. So he took some chances with this movie, which I really appreciate. Had some darker tones. It had some comedy in it, great action, and bringing back the one and only Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, portraying this character. And I really think Luke Skywalker's performance was award-worthy. I know that the Academy will snub him, but he was excellent in this movie, excellent. Just to see where he was at and how he's changed over the years. And some of the negatives of the film was between Finn and Rose. They had some story arc in the film that really didn't make any sense and was kind of thrown in there, and it kind of set the movie back a few steps. And some of the writing and just silly parts of the movie that didn't make sense were really kind of the negatives for me. Star Wars The Last Jedi was, an enjoyable film. I was really looking forward to this every December, going to see Star Wars. And I had a good time with it. It has its flaws. It's not a perfect film. I'm going to give Star Wars The Last Jedi a 3.5 out of 5 lightsaber pieces. What did you guys think? Did you guys go see it on opening night like the rest of us here at Cinephellas? Are you torn about it like me? Do you have to see it again to really understand and to digest everything that happened in this film? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out from the Millennium Falcon. Until next time, cheers!